So if you think you're not a creative person, or I think I'm not a creative person, can creativity be created?
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
Welcome to the Inside Track and Life's Inside Track. I'm Yetta Decker.
And I'm Ken Decker.
And we're excited to welcome you back to another episode where we share techniques, thoughts, and tools that we all need, we all deserve, you, I, everyone, to turn our house into home where our families thrive and we live the best life possible.
I think
creativity
yes,
can explode. Yeah, right?
Yeah, you're too funny.
We
are all born creative, I believe.
We are. And what you're going to learn on this episode is how do you step up your creativity? And even if you think you have none, how do you embrace the creativity that is within?
How do we get it out? How do we use a can opener?
I don't think we have to increase. No can opener necessary. No? There is an imagination that's necessary, though. And it's interesting because if we start with just how to, you might be thinking, well, I don't perceive myself as very creative. Well, I can attest to I was known as an incredibly uncreative person, and I knew myself to be completely unable to create anything of any value, or so I thought. And it's interesting because we have a tendency to listen to the outside voices, the voices that tell us what we can't do rather than what we can do, or maybe even listen to our own voice. I can go back to art class, and the guy beside me painted a beautiful panda. It was gorgeous. And I painted a fox, a red fox. Yeah, not so gorgeous. Not so gorgeous. Nobody really knew what it was.
They didn't know it was a fox?
No, I did, because that's what I intended to paint.
Okay.
And so the criticism, not only the shock of the teacher and the students, my own criticism caused me to say, well, I certainly can't paint.
And how much painting had you done before that?
Virtually none.
Oh, but you thought you should just be really good at it?
Yeah. And how often do we tend to think, have you ever thought to yourself, I should be really good at this thing, as Ken's suggesting, and yet you'd never done it before? Really? Yeah.
That's incredible. And I think also our creativity can be crushed sometimes when, we're in... Because as kids, when I was a little kid, I'd draw things, I'd invent things.
Well, think about the kids, the things our grandkids draw and the cards they deliver. And I'm thinking, can you tell me what this is, please? Because I haven't got a clue. And they go on for 5 minutes about this amazing thing that they've drawn on the piece of paper. And I'm trying to figure out what's really there. Because it looks like a box and some sticks and some...
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're making campers out of pieces of wood on a cart, and
they built a home. At 8 years old, he built a home, don't you know?
Yeah, so these are the things, the creativity gets squashed when people say, oh, that doesn't look like that, or you could do better, or whatever they say can start to quelch. Is that the right word? Quelch.
Squelch.
Squelch,
I don't know.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Squelch, you're right on. Squelch the creativity that we were born with, because I believe God is creative. He created everything that we see around us, and he created us, and we created us in his image, and he's creative, so we should be creative.
We are
creative. This creativity can flow through us.
Right. And so how can we instill more creativity? And maybe you already know you're amazingly creative. You're a world-renowned artist, or you are amazing at home decor, or you're amazing at creatively writing in journals, or you're an author, and you already got this creativity thing nailed.
And there's other ways to be creative.
Yeah. Did you like some of my suggestions?
Yeah. And we could be creative at creating a video game.
Yep.
Or problem solving. Or we could be creative at writing. I think you mentioned writing.
I did.
But there's so many things we could be creative at. We can be creative at music.
Well, I was creative today at how I arranged my fruit bowl.
Really?
Yeah, and how I arrange my veggies.
Was that
my
artistic?
garlic. Yeah, it's artistic. That's creative. So how we do everything in the course of the day, even how I fix the flowers that are in this scene, was pretty creative how I pulled that together. Jam them in there like nobody's business till I got the right look and feel.
So if we're feeling a little down in the creative zone, how can we purposely increase our creativity?
Well, one thing is to try a bunch of stuff you've never done before. Or you know what? You may have done them when you were a kid, but somebody told you were no good at it, like dancing or singing, or even how someone swims can be creative.
So try it again.
Try it again. Dance, exercise. I mean, I said I don't do exercise, I don't do dance, but really it wasn't that I don't want to move my body. It was that I'd been told I had no rhythm and I look like a spaz and I can't follow instructions when it comes to exercise. So I decided there was no creativity available there.
So just play with it. You know what I find increased my creativity is when I carve out time for it and a place for it. So if there's a normal place, like maybe I have a studio for painting, or I have, in our case, I have our tranquility room, which we go in, and that's when my brain starts creating content for educational courses, content that hasn't existed before, and it's scheduled, right?
Yeah.
It's scheduled. So that's important. And then I think what else could increase your creativity is no judgment.
Well, I was going to say that one. That's like at the top of my list. Lose the judgment and only show it to people that you know aren't going to go, what? What's that? What are you thinking?
But not just other people's judgment.
No, I know.
Like, who cares about other people's judgment?
Well, I have way too much in most of my life, and maybe you're a little bit like me and you put way too much weight on what others have said. And then the other one, you've done it. Oh, yeah.
Self-judgment.
Self-judgment is the worst. And sometimes it's born out of judgment of others. So not judging ourselves for the creation and just having fun. Like the best ways to increase is just by fun. Letting loose and enjoy.
Letting go of the result. Because if we're okay to fail, even in companies where they go, it's okay to fail more, fail often.
Just don't make the same failure more than once.
Yeah, no point. Yeah. But that creates innovation and creativity when you don't come down on someone hard if the thing they dream up doesn't work or fails.
Right. It's totally cool.
So interesting. I see you're wearing a pendant today.
I see you're wearing a pendant today, too.
Yes. Where did that come from? Because I think that came out of our tranquility room.
Well, kind of. It came out of a spiritual quest that I was doing, sitting in the room, and all of a sudden there was a sketch on my paper that I don't really I didn't think it through, but there it was. And it embodied wholehearted eternal love. And then I turned the picture. It was a little red sketch because I like writing in red ink. It doesn't make me feel like I was wrong. It makes me feel creative, like the Decker team. So I showed it to Ken and he said to me, that's a pendant that we're going to make and sell. And I thought, first of all, I didn't tell you it was a pendant. And secondly, there are tons of these out there. There's no way this is unique. So we started Googling. Then we hired a patent design person. And guess what? There aren't any except the one we created. So you can even surprise yourself by just choosing to step in and give it a whirl. Give it a go. Maybe it's not jewelry, but it's something else that is just for you to create.
Yeah, we're super excited to be moving forward together with you.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.